1 of Dining Room Table Talks, where we share wellness experience together in daily life. Today I want to talk about connection. It's very, very important to our health, and there's lots of different ways to look at it. But what I really want to talk about is your personal connection to nature. And to talk about it, I wanted to first start with a quote from a very famous poet, William Blake, who I love. And he says, "To see a world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower, hold infinity in the palms of your hand and eternity in an hour." And that brings me to talk a little bit about why it's really important for children to go out into nature, but not just children, all of us. And how we can isolate nature into, well, this herb cures this illness. And, if you go take a walk outside so you can lose 5 pounds, I mean, it's a start. But what I really want to explore with you and do a little exercise with is to talk about why nature matters. And I am a dirt worshiping tree hugger all the way to my bones, but I'm also a very practical person. And I know, like one of my best friends, we're so different. And she said, why would you want to go out there in the garden? There's worms out there. And I just laugh and I think, yeah, and I think worms are beautiful. But, she doesn't. So I'm not necessarily expecting everyone to love nature as much as I do. But I do want to share is that there is magic in the connection. And I want to talk a little bit about the science of why that is. And that there are patterns in nature, definite patterns in nature. There is a world in a grain of sand, and it is repeatable. And it's mathematic, and it represents order. And when your brain sees that same order that is inside of itself, outside, and you interface with that through the senses, that contact point between your senses and the natural world around you is common ground. And it makes you feel, even if you consciously don't realize it, it makes you feel like you've come home. I'm acutely aware of that, and I just want to tell you a brief little story. Every day, I don't get the mail every day, but every time that I walk up to the mailbox or I take my dog out to the road and back, I get to walk through this special little dirt path. And I have woods on both sides of me. It's not super long, but it's just enough. It's almost like a little gauntlet, to walk through where I forget my daily cares and all the things that I might walk out of my house thinking about taxes or this or that, or I need to get this at the grocery store, or worrying about something, or overwhelmed. And I walk through that gauntlet. And the woods are quieter, and there are all the little details that represent the order around me. And all I need to do is look up. I open my eyes, I look up, and I connect to it. I notice a detail, maybe a little bud on a juniper, or some moss on a stone that's starting to blossom. These little tiny details, the song of a bird, and it does something to my physiology. Now, some of you know me, some of you don't, but I am very mind-body medicine oriented. I think that it is where medicine is headed, and I think it's the answer to a lot of our problems of disconnection in the world. A lot of us feel very disconnected, and it shows up in all sorts of different physical manifestations: anxiety, depression, ADD, and then those things can lead to shallow breathing, lowering the immune system, digestive trouble. So the list goes on and on. So when we feel that sense of connection and a sense of being at one with the order of things, it is a beginning to healing. Now, let's take this one step further now, is that your body, like right here, right now, let's do this exercise. Take a look if you can, if you're not driving, but just take a look at your thumbprint or your fingerprint, those little lines in your finger. There's an order to that, a wave, and it's unique, and it is also part of nature. So to feel that nature is out there is not completely accurate. Your body is nature. So there's your interface, and we experience it through our senses. So what I would invite you to do is go outside or even looking out the window. Identify one small thing, a cherry blossom, a way that a tree branch attaches to its trunk, and really identify with the amazing pattern that holds everything together. And just breathe that in for a moment. Did that change your mind? Did that change your perspective? So this is why I do this. And this is why I wanted to talk about this in episode 1 of our dining room table talks. And that I would like to explore with you what you want to talk about. But first, I wanted to connect with you and let you know that this is the reason why I'm talking about wellness. Because I feel a deep connection to nature. And because I feel connected to nature, I